And before the pandemic in New York City, 1 in 5 kids lived with hunger, and in New Jersey it was 1 in 7. But in today's climate, with the number of people out of work, putting food on the table has been even more challenging, right? Organizations such as No Kid Hungry have been in communities handing out food to those in need. So here to tell us more about what exactly they do is Rachel Sabella. She's the campaign director of No Kid Hungry New York. Good morning to you, Rachel. Thank you for joining us this morning. I'm so excited to be able to team up with you because I think this is such an important initiative.
Good morning, Dan. Thank you so much for having me and for the partnership.
Of course. So for our viewers who don't know, tell us what exactly is No Kid Hungry.
Sure. No Kid Hungry is a campaign working to end childhood hunger in the United States. I have the honor and privilege of leading that work across New York State.
So tell us a little bit then about the childhood hunger specifically in New York, right? Because it's one thing to hear it, but how prevalent is the problem?
In New York State, before the pandemic, 1 in 6 children lived with food insecurity. In New York City, that number was 1 in 5 children. And now, with the pandemic, we're afraid those numbers are going to grow.
Right. So let's talk about the pandemic, because it obviously created just additional challenge for kids and their families as many people lost their jobs as well. And it was just hard to put food on the table as we saw food prices actually go up. So what are you seeing and hearing?
So what we're hearing is for so many families, when the school closures were announced, they were really afraid what was going to happen. For many of them, their children received breakfast and lunch and sometimes an after-school snack during the school day. So there was a real fear now that with schools closed, with record jobs and wages lost, what would happen? And what we've seen is government, we've seen school district, we've seen community partners step up to help those families and those children right now.
So what is being done then to make sure that kids do not fall through the cracks, right? We don't even know if schools are going to open in the fall.
It's a really scary time right now, but everyone has come together to address this issue. Every school district in New York State had to have a plan when they closed in order to show how they were going to continue to feed children. In New York City, there are food hubs in over 500 schools where children and families can go for food. Yeah. We're seeing pop-up pantries, home-delivered meals, a lot of ways for families to access food.
So today is our day of action, right? PIX11 is donating $12,000. We're hoping our viewers can match some of that money, but if they can't donate money financially because everybody is in a tough time, how can people get involved who want to help so much?
Absolutely. So we would love your viewers to help us, number one, raise their voice. Visit nokidhungry.org. They can see how to write to elected officials, how to write to partners to talk about the importance of these programs. We also have a texting line, and we'd love for them to help us get the word out about that. Families can text NYC Food or NYC Comida to 877-877 and learn where the closest location is to get free food for their children. So that would be a real fantastic way for your viewers to help us.
Oh, great. And the money goes towards what? How is that money being used and spent to help those families?
Absolutely. The money that No Kid Hungry is raising is allowing us to make donations, to do grants to communities across the country. We have given grants in all 50 states, in Washington, D.C., and in Puerto Rico, including right here in New York State, where we're helping community organizations like City Harvest, like Long Island Cares, have additional funds to feed kids and families.
Big names. Rachel, I appreciate your time this morning and all you're doing to help out all those folks in need. Thank you for the time this morning.
Thank you so much, Dan.
And so PIX11, by the way, working with No Kid Hungry to raise money and awareness to fight all of this food insecurity that Rachel was just talking about. Today, we're having a day of action to support No Kid Hungry and provide children with those nutritious meals. To donate, go to PIX11.com/fuelourkids to help us match and go beyond the $12,000 contribution by PIX11. But as you heard Rachel say, there are other ways. If you cannot do it financially, we'll have that listed on our website as well. Big cause here on this day of action.